Hi everyone, my name's David Kimpton and I'm the Percussion Manager for the 2023 Australian National Band Championships to be held in Newcastle, New South Wales. For those of you who may not know me, I'm currently the Principal Percussionist of the Castle Hill RSL Northwest Wind Ensemble and the Principal Timpanist of the North Sydney Symphony Orchestra. I've been playing percussion at the Nationals for about 20 years now, and I'm quite familiar with the issues and problems that are faced by percussionists at band contests in this day and age. Today, we're here to talk to you a little bit about the supplied percussion for the contest, including what will and will not be supplied to the competition. As always, the organising committee for the contest will be arranging to supply percussion instruments to each of the three venues. Each venue will be supplied with at least the following instruments. 4 timpani in standard sizes of 23, 26, 29 and 32 inches. A 5-piece drum kit with crash, ride and hi-hat cymbals and hopefully a second crash. A 2.5 octave glockenspiel, 3.5 octave xylophone, 3 octave vibraphone, 4 1/3 octave marimba and 1.4 octave tubular bells. A concert snare drum, concert bass drum, clash cymbals, a suspended cymbal separate to the cymbals on the drum kit, and lastly, a tam-tam. I'd like to note that this is not a complete list of what will be supplied. Some more specialised instruments, such as crotales, bongos, congas and things like that, will be supplied to certain grades depending on the requirements of their test pieces. More information about what instruments will be supplied will be announced later in the year. As always, small handheld percussion instruments such as triangles, tambourines, shakers, woodblocks and things like that will not be supplied. And mallets, aside from those for the tubular bells and the tam-tams, will also not be supplied. All of those smaller things are the responsibility of you, the percussionists and the bands. It's important to note that some instruments, particularly instruments like the marimba and xylophone, can be damaged if you use the wrong mallets on them. So please think about the mallets that you're intending to use on these instruments. If you have any questions about whether the mallets you're intending to use are suitable to use on these instruments, please feel free to reach out to me and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you might have. For our junior bands, we'll endeavour to supply instruments that are suitable for our younger players to play to give them the best experience possible playing at our national competition. These things might include smaller hand cymbals and concert snare drum stands that are a little bit lower than normal, just to make sure that they're appropriate for our younger players. At every competition, we always get asked questions about where is this instrument? Where is that pair of mallets? Don't forget that small handheld instruments and all mallets aside from tubular bell and gong mallets are your responsibility to bring. You might also choose to bring some of your own instruments, like you might wish to bring your own cymbals or your own snare drums to use because you're used to the sound of those instruments and how they respond. I definitely understand that as a player and guarantee I'll probably be bringing some of my own instruments to play with my bands. If you do wish to bring your own instruments, we absolutely welcome that, but we would ask that you please bring the hardware that you need for those instruments. Bring your own cymbal stands and your own snare drum stands. That way, we're not wasting time between bands changing cymbals over and changing snare drums over, and we also don't risk the instruments being supplied to the competition losing their stand because someone accidentally takes a stand off stage with their own instrument. For the solos, we'll be supplying all instruments required for all sections. They will include a 4 1/3 octave marimba for the open mallet percussion section and a 5 octave marimba for the junior mallet percussion section. A concert snare drum for both the junior and open snare drum sections. 4 timpani for the junior and open timpani sections. And for the multi-percussion sections, we'll also supply kick drum, timbales, bongos, suspended cymbal, triangle, woodblock, tenor drum, xylophone, and a drum throne. For the 2 multi-percussion pieces, the instruments will be arranged to suit either sitting down in the case of West Side Impressions for the open multi-percussion, or standing up for J4K in the junior multi-percussion. We'll also make sure we supply a drum stool for the open multi-percussion section. If you'd like anything unusual for the multi-percussion sections, please let us know and we'll endeavour to meet your requirements. If any bands or any percussionists have any particular requirements for unusual instruments that may be difficult for them to source, or that might be difficult for them to transport to the contest on flights and on buses, please reach out to the contest organising committee and myself, and we'll do our best to help out where we can. This might include particularly unusual instruments that you might have in your own choice piece, or it may include hardware for instruments that you wish to bring yourself that might be just a little bit big and heavy for you to bring on the plane. We're always happy to do everything that we can to ensure everyone gets the best performing experience. For some of our concert band sections, you may have noticed some unusual instruments in some of your test pieces. Don't worry, we've got a few more videos coming up in this series which will help explain a few things about these unusual instruments, how you might be able to make them yourself or substitute them in your rehearsals. There are some of these unusual instruments that we won't be supplying to the competition just simply because they're too unusual and a little bit hard to get, but we will be giving you alternatives that you can use in your rehearsals that you will be able to use in performances, and the adjudicators will be apprised of this at the time. Stay tuned for more information and more episodes of Percussion Talk.